Welcome to my vlog.
Oh yeah, welcome to Shadow Palms Vlog. It's a party up in here. Party all day, party all night. Come on, join the fun. Subscribe. Show 'em what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Hi y'all and welcome back. Welcome. Sorry it's been a week since my last vlog, but it's been crazy busy. I've just been insanely busy. It's the first chance I've had to get back to vlogging all week. So what I want to do today is part 2 of the talking head tutorial. So this one we're going to talk about using 3D animation to create the talking head on the projection for the talking head. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the audio that we created last week, and we're going to create a zombie talking head using that audio, and we're going to be using a program called DAZ 3D Studio, which I told you about in previous vlogs. It's a free software. You can go ahead and download it. By the way, anybody who's looking at this video today or tomorrow when I upload it, they are having a sale right now on their creature creator, which is sort of the thing that you can use to make zombies and other creatures out of either Genesis or Michael 4, which is another character they have. Their Genesis character is the most popular. It's you can create all kinds of different shapes and forms out of it that you can purchase to then mold and mix and match and all that. And Creature Creator is one of those. Now, if you're watching this later and the sale's already over, don't worry about it. They have sales all the time. Just keep an eye out for it and get it when you want it. Or there's, like I said, there's tons of free models out there that you can find that people make all the time. So anyway, if you're watching this on the 18th or the 19th, then you've got the sale is still going on. If not, then like I said, they have sales all the time. So anyway, let's get right to it. Now, this isn't going to be a tutorial on how to use DAZ because there are tons of tutorials out there. You can find them. Just go to YouTube and do a search on DAZ 3D Studio tutorial, and you'll find tons of tutorials. What I'm going to be doing is just showing you how to do the talking head with the DAZ Studio and how I use it so that I can have different figures doing the talking, so it's not always just my beautiful face here. One thing I do want to mention, I've mentioned it in previous vlogs, but I want to mention it again. If you have a 64-bit machine, DAZ does have a 64-bit version, and I would recommend downloading that for other things. But for lip syncing, which we're going to be doing today, you need the 32-bit. The 64-bit does not have the lip syncing. So you're going to want to use the 32-bit. Now the two can run side by side, no problem. I have them both running on my machine. So I've got 64-bit and a 32-bit. I use 64-bit for everything, and I use the 32-bit for just the lip syncing. And they both use the same preferences folder. So what happens is when you open from one, if you're doing something in 64 and then you close it and then you open the 32, it's right back where you were. It's almost like it's the same program, which it is basically just two different versions of it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I had recorded this earlier, me doing it, and the audio didn't take, so I'm kind of going to do a voiceover as I'm watching it and telling you what I'm doing. So I apologize if I'm a little off with what I'm doing with the, you know what I'm talking about. I never have my act together. What are you going to do? So anyway, let's get started with that. Okay, first thing we're going to do when we open up DAZ is we're going to go to the render. We're going to click on render, and although we're not going to render anything right now, we want to set up the aspect ratio and the number of pixels. So if you're going to do like high definition, you want it 720 by 1280. Then up here we've got the numbers 1 through 4, and that's going to set the quality of the render. I usually render on 4. If you want an alpha channel, you're going to need to render on 4. Now we're going to click on this area here. Now this is important. We want to go to Show Aspect Frame. Now I'm going to uncheck it for a minute so you can see the difference. And see there, you don't see the aspect frame, so you have no idea what's going to render. You want that clicked, and then that way everything inside that frame is what's going to render, so you know exactly what you're getting. Otherwise, it's just sort of a wild guess, which can get a little frustrating. Then, of course, we can close the windows there to give us this tabs there to give us a little more room. Okay, here we are back in DAZ. We're on the Actors tab. You've got Actors, Poses and Animations, Lights and Cameras, and Render. We're in the Actors, and what I'm going to do is, there we go, Actors, and I'm going to go ahead and click on my content library, and I'm going to pick a character that I had purchased earlier called Long Time Dead, I think, and I'm going to go ahead and use that. You can use whatever character you want. So we're just going to let that load in. Now you can use, you know, any Genesis character, Michael 4, or whatever you want. It'll all work pretty much the same way as we're doing here. This, I believe, is a Genesis 2 character. Now, if you take a look, we've got hair here. I'm not going to add hair because that is, in the projection, it's not going to look right for me. If I want hair, I'm going to actually add a wig when it's projected. So I'm not going to add the hair. I'm just going to have them bald. I like to do it that way, but the choice is yours. If you want to put hair on there and just project the hair, that's fine too. Now what we want to do is we want to try to get the head lined up as filling as much of the frame as possible. As you can see here, it fills up almost the entire frame top to bottom. And I'm just going to get him so he's looking straight on at me using the controls here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead into Scene, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go down to his head. There we go. I'm going to highlight head, then I'm going to go to parameters, and I'm going to lock his head from bending side to side, twisting, any of those things. I'm going to lock those because when I use lip sync, it does move the head to give it a more realistic look, but of course we don't want that in a projection. So we want to make sure that they're all locked. I'm also going to go into neck and do the same thing. I'm going to lock those just to make sure that there's no movement there. I want eye movement and I want mouth movement, but I don't want the head to move. Now I'm going to go ahead back to just click on the character in general. Then we're going to go to Window, and we're going to go down to Lip Sync. There we go. We're going to click on that, and it's going to open it up. We're going to click on Load, and then we're going to navigate to the file that we created last week, or whatever file you want to use. And we're going to open it. Now, normally you could hit play and play it back, but I'm going to spare you that. We're just going to go right to Analyze. I'm probably going to edit this out. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the timeline so that you can see what's happening. We're going to click on Analyze, and it's going to go through and analyze it and set up the animation of the lips. Now there's just a little warning. It's nothing to worry about. It's just my system. Now there you can see it added several things along the timeline, keyframes are what was added. So now we can hit play, and we can see that the mouth moves to the words that we put in, whatever the audio was. Now, like I said, when I had done this, this audio didn't take. I had the wrong setting on it or something. I don't know. Something went wrong. So take my word for it, though. It was moving along to lip sync to the audio that we had recorded earlier. Now from here, if you want, you can go in and do some fine tuning to the to the keyframes if you want. Now we're going to go ahead into render, and you can render 4 is going to be slower but higher quality. 1 is going to be faster but lesser quality. Now you can record a movie, which is going to be an AVI, if you just want to do it quick, and that's what I'm going to do here just to get it done quickly. But normally I would do it as an image series. It gives you a lot more control, and then you can just import it into your whatever program you're using to edit your video as an image series. Now another thing you can do, what I'm going to do here, since I'm doing it as a movie, I'm going to go ahead and add a background. And the background I'm adding is going to be a black background. And all that is just black. And you can see there I have a green one if you want to do something with a green screen or whatever you want. I'm just going to click on black so that since I'm doing it straight to a movie, that way I don't have to worry about adding the black later on. It's just going to put a black background because that's what we're going to want for our projection, as I had mentioned in the last video. It just takes a minute for it to load in. And then that way, once we create our video, we already have the black background and it's ready to project. Now those little white lines there, that grid, don't worry about that. That doesn't get rendered. That's just there for reference. Now we're going to go ahead and name it, and we're going to choose where we want to save it to and what quality we want to render it at. Now since we're not doing an alpha channel, I can do a quicker render, so I'm just going to put it down to 2 to do a very quick render because I'm just doing this as an example. If you need an alpha channel, you're going to need to render it at a higher quality. Now it just gives you a warning there. Just click OK, and then just takes a little while. Actually, it takes a long while, and then it's done rendering. Now, once if you're rendering it to a video, after it's done rendering, it's going to come up and ask you how you want to encode it. So I'll just be just a second here. Okay, so here we can see it's asking us how we want to encode it. Just pick whatever your preference is. I'm just going to pick Microsoft, I believe is what I picked when I did this, and hit OK. And then it'll just finish up. Now once that's done, you'll have the AVI saved to wherever you chose to save it. Sometimes when I do this compression, I wind up getting an error, and that's why one of the reasons why I prefer to do it as an image series. I just feel like I have a lot more control that way over the type of video I want to do, but this is a down dirty, easy, simple way to do it. Just going straight to video. Just remember to put in the black background if you're going to do that. And there we go. Okay, sorry about the audio there. My microphone was turned off. It turned out it was recording on my camera microphone, which kind of sucks. So sorry about that. Looking back and thinking about that whole tutorial, I think it kind of sucked. So I apologize. The whole thing of me doing the screen capture and the audio not taking, me trying to put in the audio afterwards, I think might have been a little confusing there. If you have any questions, please feel free, leave a comment and ask me, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Like I said, I think I kind of did a horrible job there, and I apologize for that. In the future, they'll be better. I just had some technical issues, and so, and like I said, any questions you have, I don't know how much of that was understandable and how much of it wasn't. If you have any questions, just leave me a message, and I'll get back to you with an answer that actually makes sense, as opposed to this tutorial, which didn't make much sense. Okay, so anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much. I hope that was some help to you. I'll do another tutorial soon on a different aspect of the projection hunt that I'm doing, working on a lot of things. I've been really busy. I'm really excited about this year's hunt. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will talk to you guys later. Again, leave any comments, questions, whatever. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Later, dude. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe.